know why they are not joining. Yes. So, good evening. What do you remember about the last class? Only the three of you. Yeah, you can take lavish time and explain what what did you understand from the last class? Ashish, anything that you remember from the last class? What did we learn? What was the general theme about?
Behavior.
Sorry?
Behavior.
Behavior.
Hmm.
What basis of behavior did we study?
Comparison between animals and human beings.
Can you place your mic towards your mouth and speak? I can't hear you.
Comparison between
Animal,
human and animals.
yeah, human and animal behavior. How the cultural context influences the uh, human behavior as well as the animal behavior. We saw that the human behavior is influenced by lots of factors in the culture or the socio-cultural context that we live in, whereas in animal behavior, they are mainly oriented towards the biological basis. Okay? And yes, Amal, what else do you remember about last class?
Mm,
To
ma'am,
explain this between animal and human behavior, we saw two examples. Do you remember that?
yes, ma'am, hunger,
Hunger and
sexual behavior.
sexual behaviors. Yes. Anything else that you remember?
Ma'am, um, ma'am,
Yes or no?
I forgot.
Okay, that's okay. Yes, Meghna, do you have anything to share?
The concept of culture.
The concept of culture. What do you know about the concept of culture?
We can say in simplest terms, the culture is a man-made environment,
Yeah.
and it has ideas, um, social institutions,
Yes.
and the relations, behaviors, uh, reactions
Yes.
connected to humans.
Yes.
And that's
That's all. Yes, we learned that the culture is influenced by human beings as well as human beings influence culture. Is that a right statement? They influence each other. The culture and human beings, they interact with each other. Culture is formed by the different reactions, responses, and different behaviors and activities of human beings. And this particular culture that is earlier formed, this influences the coming generations also. Sana, please switch on your video. And now, yesterday we just had a very general discussion on culture, but today we'll see more into what culture is. We saw what it means to be cultural, and then we discussed about the diverse byproducts, the products of human behavior. That's what Meghna said. Products include the different material objects, the ideas. We told about the idea of marriage, then the social institutions like families, schools, and etc. Now, we made a statement here: human beings are not passive recipients of cultural forces, which means that humans not only receive influences from the culture, but humans also influence the culture as such. Okay. Now, we are going to learn about the definition of culture. What is culture? As such, culture is a term which is very difficult to define because it covers lots of topics like the traditions that we follow, the values that we hold, the different behavioral influences that the particular culture has on us. Then based on different geographical areas, the culture differs. Based on certain gender stereotypes, the culture differs. So we have lots of customs, values, belief systems, traditions, and so many things coming under culture. But for the sake of definition, we have a definition here, that is, culture can be defined as the widely shared customs, beliefs, values, norms, institutions, and other products of a community that are transmitted socially across generations. So we already studied in previous chapters that culture is something which includes everything that is passed on from one generation to the next generation. Not the biological one. If it is the biological material that is passed on from one generation to another generation, what do we call that? When the biological material is passed on from one generation, or the parents to the offspring, or the ancestors to the future generation, what do you call that? The study of that? Yes, Ashish? What do you call that? In biological basis, the last topic that we studied was that. Sana, do you remember? Yes, Ashish, I can't hear you.
Heredity.
Heredity, yes. And that study is known as genetics. Okay. So apart from that, if the belief system, the value system, the customs, traditions, if all these factors are passed on from one generation to another, then we call that culture. So again, coming back to the definition, it can be defined as the widely shared customs. The customs, traditions, and beliefs that is not particular to a single individual. It is shared in nature. Means a group of individuals, or maybe a group of family members, or maybe from the ancestors to the future generation. So a set of people or set of individuals share these customs and beliefs. It's not particular to a single individual. So it is defined as the widely shared customs, beliefs, values, norms. What are norms? The basic rules and regulations that this should be done like this, or this should not be done like this. Such norms exist in a society or in a culture. Those are known as norms. And then we have the institutions, like the social institutions that we told about, and other products of a community that are transmitted socially across generations, means from one generation to the next generation. So again, in the definition we have so many factors, that is including the customs, beliefs, values, norms, institutions. You can include traditions and all if you want, and other products of a community. So these all factors, that is customs, beliefs, values, norms, institutions, they are the products of a community. We already discussed that the human behavior has certain diverse products, which we earlier discussed. That is the social institutions, the ideas, the material objects and all. We discussed that in the last class. And these products of a community, and it has to be transmitted from one generation to the next generation. How? Socially, not biologically. If it is biologically, then we refer that to genetics or the hereditary factors. If it is passed on socially from one generation to another, we call that as our culture. Okay, definition is clear? Any doubt in the definition? Sana, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So that is about the definition of culture. Now we have some important features of culture. Culture includes behavioral products of others who preceded us. It indicates both substantial and abstract particulars that have prior existence in one form or another. So it basically includes behavioral products of others who preceded us. Means our ancestors, even before we were born, they might have been engaged in certain behaviors, certain activities, certain associations and all. And as a result of that, we have certain traditions, customs and values currently. These are the byproducts of their actions, or the products of their activities or their behaviors. So these products are the ones that form the culture that we live in currently, and they have an influence on our behavior. So that is one feature. It might be some abstract concept like love, the way we express love, the way we feel love. That is an abstract concept. We can't just concretely give a definition that this is how we can tell that somebody loves you. We can't really define it, or we can't specify it. It is very abstract. So whether it be an abstract concept or whether it be a concrete or specific concept, we have something that was resulted from the as a byproduct of the behavior of our ancestors. Ancestors are the predecessors. Predecessors are the ones that preceded us, means who lived before us, who were born before us, who died before us. All those set of people form the people who preceded us, means who came before us. So their behaviors, their activities, their engagements have created some products. And these products form the culture that we live in. And this culture has an influence on our behavior, whether it be abstract concepts or concrete concepts, they have an influence on our behavior. That is one feature of culture. Now, second feature is it contains values that will be expressed and a language in which to express them. So let me ask you, which is one value that you value the most in life? Amal, one value that you always hold in life. Or if you write down your values in one paper, which would be the first, which would be the top in the list? Like for example, for me it would be honesty and sincerity. For you, what it would be?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, honestly, sir.
I want to know about all of you. Yes. Yes, Amal.
Ma'am, for me, it's honesty.
Honesty. Okay. Then. Still thinking? Okay. Aishwarya.
Hardworking and
Hardworking and
loving everyone.
loving everyone. Hard work and love. Okay. Sana. Sorry? Hmm? Once more. Helping others. Is that what you said? Helping others. Okay, then. I can't hear you again. Optimism. Okay, fine. Positive thinking. Yes, Meghna.
Honesty, hardworking, sincerity.
Yes. Then. Anything special? Like unique from the rest of the people? No.
No.
No. Okay. Ashish. You got lots of time to think. Give me something other than honesty, sincerity, hard work, helping, and love.
Belief and love.
Sorry?
Belief
Belief. Belief in what?
and love. In me.
In yourself. Means
Yes.
self-confidence, is it?
അങ്ങനെ പറയാം.
Trusting yourself. Okay, അങ്ങനെ പോവാം.
Also from others.
Huh?
Oh.
Sorry?
And love.
And love.
Mm.
Okay, whom do you love the most?
My family.
Give me 5 names of people who you love the most. You don't have to tell me who, just tell me the names, just names. You're muted.
Father, mother.
I asked the names. Don't tell me the relation, just the names.
Benny Xavier.
Benny,
Xavier.
Xavier. 2 names or the single name?
Single name.
Single name. Benny, Xavier. Then
Shiny Benny.
Shiny Benny. Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Then
Jancy George.
Jancy. Okay.
George Maipan.
Huh?
George Maipan.
Okay. I didn't understand the second name. Anyways, George.
Tumba
Tumba.
Sahasra. Tumba Sahasra.
Okay. I didn't find you. I didn't find Ashish in this. The first thing that you told that you trust yourself, you love yourself, you have a belief in yourself. You should be the first person in the list, right? You shouldn't wait for somebody else to love you. You should start loving yourself first. Okay?
Okay.
So from tomorrow onwards, who will be the first name? What will be the first name?
Benny.
Ashish Benny. Okay. For everyone, okay. The first person in the list should be yourself. Anyways, yeah. So back to the culture, the features. We were discussing about it contains values that will be expressed and a language in which to express them. So you told me about your own values. So you have a way of expressing it. Like if it is love, you have a way of expressing your love. How do you express your love, Aishwarya? Usually
Being helpful to people
by being helpful,
and not being arrogant.
not being arrogant. Yes. And yeah, we have different ways of expressing love. Some people might give quality time to others. Some people might like if it is a birthday of a friend, some people like being boasted around, like hanging out in cafes, cutting cakes and all. But there are some others who like spending quality time with their family and friends. Then there are yet another set of people who like clicking so many pictures, posting them in Instagrams, getting so many likes and comments, and that's what defines their happiness. And again, we have different ways of expressing that and experiencing that. That is the second point that we have. Yeah, Greshma, you joined late, which is the uh, I mean the value that you value the most in your life. We were discussing about that. Tell me, tell us.
Question.
Which is the one thing that you value the most, or the moral value, or what do you call that, the value that you value the most in your life? Do you
Love, honesty.
Honesty. Okay, then
Love.
love.
Honesty.
Love is outdated. Please give us something new.
Mainly honesty.
Mainly honesty.
Mutual respect.
Mutual respect. Yes, that is good. Then that's all. That's all. Okay. So we were discussing about the second feature, Grishma, and we were discussing about the features of culture as such. The first feature was that our ancestors or our forefathers have been engaging in different activities and different behaviors. So as a byproduct of that, we have a culture now. And we have different abstract concepts as well as specific concrete concepts in it. They have an influence on our behavior currently. That is the first feature. Then the second one is the culture contains values that will be expressed and a language in which to express them. So we have certain values in life which we might have got being part of a culture, and we have different ways of expressing them. That is the second feature. Now the third feature is it contains a way of life that will be followed by most of us who grow up in that context. And again, it's related to the behaviors. When we are born into a particular culture or we live in a particular cultural context, then the people in that culture has a way of living. They have a typical behavior. And we, consciously or unconsciously, we might try to follow that way of living. And it is after the different education that we get, the different experiences that we get, the exposure to different cultures that makes us changed, that makes our behaviors change. For example, again, yesterday we talked about the vegetarian, non-vegetarian thing. And I asked Elvina if she was born into a Brahmin family, then will she be eating non-vegetarian now? She told obviously not. And just like that, when she is born into such a family, they have a way of living. They have a way of following the customs and traditions. They have a set of belief systems, and she might be following that. When she is exposed to some other culture, like she might go abroad for studies, then she might be exposed to some other culture. So again, she might adapt to that particular culture, change her habits and change her ways of living. Okay, so when we consider one particular culture, the people in that particular culture may have a way of living or a standard of living. That is the next point. So any culture if we take, it has a or it contains a way of life that will be followed by most of us who grow up in that context. Now the next one is different patterns of meanings are embodied in symbols. We already discussed this in some of the previous chapters. Symbols, different symbols have different meanings in different cultures. Have you seen the film Bamboo Boys? Yes? Yes or no? Anybody
Yes.
hasn't seen?
Yes.
Yes, Ashish, yes, I know you will watch. Anybody else who hasn't seen? Amal hasn't seen? Amal has seen. Aishwarya hasn't seen? Go and watch after the exam, okay? Yeah, in that film, what does the word hello mean? Ashish, do you remember? No.
Bad word.
Yeah, for the tribal people, it's kind of some bad word, and for the the urban people, it is the way of greeting. So different. That is a symbolic word. Hello. Again, that particular word or that particular symbol has different meanings in different culture. That is the last point. Different patterns of meanings are embodied in symbols. Okay. So again, just revising the 4 points. One is about the byproducts of the behaviors or the activities of our ancestors. So culture is formed like that, and the abstract and concrete concepts in them influence us. Then it has values, and it has a way, we all have a way of expressing those values. Then the people living in a cultural context, they have a way of living, a way of life, and most of the people who live in that culture follow this particular way of life. Then we have different patterns of meanings embodied in symbols. That is the 4 features, 4 main features. It's given as a very elaborate paragraph in your textbook. So these are the main points from that. Okay. Any doubt in this? No. Then the next small topic in a small paragraph is about society and culture. In this chapter, I'm not asking you to read now. I know you have exams. After the exams, please read these portions. And it's given in a very general idea, like just like an essay. It's the topics are not much separated. So I'm taking different paragraphs and taking different topics from them, and I'm explaining it in different slides. So society and culture, that's a separate paragraph and a separate topic. Please note down the headings so that you can find it easy when you read the textbook. Now, society and culture, these are 2 words which are commonly used interchangeably. And it's somewhat similar, but not the same. We'll see how it's different. A society is a group of people who occupy a particular territory and speak a common language not generally understood by neighboring people. So again, society, it includes a group of people who occupy a particular territory. They occupy a particular area and speak a common language not generally understood by neighboring people. These people come together, they share their thoughts, feelings, ideas and all. They have a common way of communication or a common language of communication which is not understood by the neighboring people. A society may or may not be a single nation. It might be or might not be considered as a single nation. And every society has its own culture. That's where the difference comes. The culture is somewhat different from society. Society forms a set of or the group of people who lives in a particular territory and share a common language which is not understood by the neighboring people. And each society that we consider, they have different cultures. Hmm? Culture is the label for all the different features that vary from society to society. How or in what factors does one society different from the other society? That particular term is given as culture. How this society here differs from that of society in North India. That's how we put in the factor of culture. It is because of the cultural differences. Why is this society different from another society in the Northeast? If we ask such a question, then we answer it is because of the cultural differences. Because people in this territory, people who speak this particular language, or who share these common thoughts, ideas, and other factors or the belief system, they have a way of living. They have different ways, different customs, different beliefs, different traditions, different artifacts that they follow. But the people in the Northeast again will have these separate, varied ideas, beliefs, customs, traditions, and all. So the main factor that differs in this society and the other society is what is called the culture. Okay, that is the basic difference. So the label that we give for the differences in one society to the other is known as culture. Understood? Okay. Now again we have a small topic, that is cultural transmission. Cultural transmission means how the cultural factors, which again include the belief system, tradition, customs, etc., these things, and how these factors are transferred or transmitted from one culture to the other culture. That is what we are going to learn in the upcoming portions in this chapter. And with that, we end the chapter. The three main things are there: enculturation, acculturation, and also socialization. Before that, we are biological and socio-cultural beings. How many of you agree to that statement? We are biological and socio-cultural beings. Hands up. Who all agrees to that statement? Hands. Amal, Aishwarya, Reshma. Ashish doesn't want to. Okay. Meghna. Okay, everyone. Sana left the meeting or what? Yes, Amal, thank you. You can put your hands down. Yes. So again, we know, because we are studying about the biological basis as well as the cultural basis of human behavior. So obviously, we are biological and socio-cultural beings. We benefit from our experiences. We have a very famous statement. There are good experiences in life, that is the success in life, and it gives us happiness, it gives us experiences. We have bad experiences in life, we have failures in life. They not only give us experiences, but they also teach us lessons, right? Yes. So from success, we get a good experience. From failures, we get a bad experience plus a lesson. We have to learn a lesson from them. Then only we can move on in life. That is the general concept. So we benefit from the experiences in our life, and we have several learning capacities and an organized system of learning called education. As a result, we display unique behaviors, thereby creating a culture. So why are we talking about the learning, education, and how the culture is formed? It is because we have to learn how culture is transmitted. That is how these factors, the different factors in culture include beliefs. What else? I've been repeating these terms. Beliefs. What all are passed on from one generation to another? One is belief system.
Customs.
Customs. Then another point. Meghna.
Traditions.
Traditions. Amal. What else?
And the knowledge.
Knowledge. Yes. Greshma.
Customs.
Traditions. Customs. Then anything else? Ashish, do you have anything to add? No. So these factors, we have different experiences with all these factors. Yes, we are born into a culture when we experience different things around us. Our family members might be engaged in this tradition. They might be holding this traditional value. They might do these customary practices daily. So we are observing them, we are learning them. Then we have education, we have a system known as education. When we get education, we know to separate which is right, which is not right in our customs and in our practices, in our culture. And we critically think about them, we modify how the culture influences us. So all these things takes place, and then we transmit our culture. So if we meet a new friend from the North India or another country, we introduce them to our culture. Yes, we tell that this is the typical food that we eat, this is the typical traditional values that we hold, these are the festivals that we used to celebrate, this is how this is done, this is how we eat food, this is how we go to a temple or any other religious place, and this is how we do a pilgrimage. All these things we introduce them. So that is how cultural transmission takes place from one culture to other, or from one person to other. The culture is being transferred, and these processes like learning, the educational system, all these factors, the experiences that we have in life, all these factors influence how the culture is transmitted. Main things that we are going to learn are about the process of enculturation and socialization. So the next topic, that's pretty big, enculturation and socialization. They are two big topics, the subheadings that we have. So note the headings: enculturation and socialization. Now let me ask another question. Think of anything that your culture has given you and which is unique to your own culture. Like if you were born into another culture, or if you were born into some other family or in some other geographical territory, then you might not be experiencing this particular factor, or you might not be engaged in this particular behavior. What is such a behavior or an experience? You just think of it and just give me an example. Again, I'll start with my example. Um, when right from my childhood, if I accidentally stamp on some books or stamp on legs of some of my elders, I used to do like this. But if I was born in some other country, or some in Europe or some other American countries, then I wouldn't certainly do that, will I don't think so, because that's particular to my culture, because I have seen or I have observed my elders doing the same. So I have learned it from them. Nobody has forcefully made me do it. I have seen, I have observed it, and then I have learned it. And in education also, when I learned about my moral values, I was taught to respect my books, respect my elders. So I again, even now, I do the same. I have learned that, and as a part of education also, that was included, that is embedded in my culture. That's one example. Now you give me your example. Whoever is ready, hands up. Yes, Meghna.
Festivals like Onam, Vishu, like that, we doesn't have in other countries, no.
Yes, correct. Then, yes,
There's a particular time for praying and People go to temples, churches, mosques, and all.
Okay. The particular time that you follow. That is different from other cultures. Yes. Then, Grishma.
The way we greet others, sometimes if they are elders, we touch their feet and all.
Yes. Correct. Then, boys. Come on, think, brainstorm. Yes, Amal.
Ma'am, our fooding style, dressing.
Fooding style of dressing. Yes, correct. Then, yes, Ashish. Mic, mind your mic. Unmute, man. Unmute. Tell me.
Using rice.
Using
Rice
rice.
in lunch.
Okay, yeah, eating rice. That's what you meant, right? The people
Yes.
eat steaks and burgers and pizzas, and here we have rice morning, evening, afternoon in the form of kanji, in the form of I don't know what else. Do you hate rice, Ashish? Do you hate rice? Again, unmute. I'm talking to you.
Slightly.
Slightly, yeah. My sister used to complain to my mother, Mom, why is this rice tasting the same always? That's the question that she asked. Does the rice have some other taste? I don't know. I don't know what she meant actually. Yeah, she hates rice. If we give some other food like she is a fan of non-veg. Oh, yo, again, keep away the family things. I'll go on telling stories. Yeah. So we were talking about enculturation and socialization. So would you mind me taking a few minutes to complete? 5 minutes?
No, ma'am.
Yeah. See, this is one of the example in which enculturation affects us. So what do you observe, Meghna? What do you see? Just explain what you see in the picture.
They are praying before eating their foods.
Yeah. And the first picture, what do you see?
The child is looking his mom
No. The second
and
picture.
doing what she is doing.
Yeah. The child is observing what the elders are doing, and then he is trying to imitate them. He is trying to learn that particular behavior. So probably from next day onwards, automatically when he comes and sits in front of food, he'll start praying, even before he observes his mom or dad. So that is one form of enculturation. So let's see what enculturation is. Enculturation refers to all learning that takes place without direct, deliberate teaching. It refers to all learning that occurs in human life because of its availability in a socio-cultural context. Refers to learning something that is already available. And the key element in enculturation is learning by observation. So here in that picture itself, you saw how the child is observing. So in the immediate context of the child, there is some information available, or there are some behaviors going on. There is some customary practices going on, or it might be they might be following this particular method of praying as a part of their tradition also. And this particular behavior is observed by the child, and the child includes this in his or her behavior. That's what happened. So the child is being included in the culture. The child is trying to enclose himself in the culture that he or she is living in. That is what is known as enculturation. Enculturation means, we have definition, it refers to all learning that takes place without direct deliberate teaching. So the mother and the father, they are not beating the child and forcing the child to sit and pray. The child is merely observing what the elders are doing, because it's available in his or her particular immediate environment or the socio-cultural context, and then they are accepting it and becoming a part of that culture. They are being enclosed in the culture. That is what is known as enculturation. And the main key element is learning by observation. Whatever we observe, we do. So the example that I told about my childhood and my values is an example of enculturation again. Understood? Another example I'll show you. See, if you have a family near the coastal areas or maybe near the valleys, then the kid in the picture, she is observing what her grandfather is doing, and from next day onwards, or from the by due course of time, the child might start fishing on her own. That is also a form of enculturation. But would this happen in a house, in a bungalow where which is situated in the middle of the city? Probably not.
No.
Right? Yeah. So again, this is a part of that kid's culture. Understood? Enculturation. Sure. That's all for today's questions. Any other doubts? Are you all exhausted after the exam or because of the exam? Yes or no? Which was the easiest so far? No. Which was the easiest exam so far?
I think it was psychology.
Oh my God. And toughest? No. It was all right. No answers. Which was the toughest? Amal, which was the toughest for you?
Nothing yet.
Nothing. Everything went cool. Okay then. We'll see tomorrow, probably. Saturday, right? Sometimes we'll have class, otherwise you might get a leave. Pray to God that you get a leave. Okay then. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.